Getafe is always a tough team to face, especially at their stadium. What kind of match do you think you'll have against Bordalas's team?
We all know very well how Getafe plays. They have a very intense and well-organized style. They're a very strong team with many duels throughout the match. Not to mention they have very clear ideas about how they want to play. We are ready and prepared for this match. The closer we get to the end of the season, the more important every game becomes for all teams because there's a lot at stake in every match.
Last year, you played a total of 55 matches, and tomorrow will mark your 55th this season, with 10 more to go. Don't you think that consistently fielding the so-called Fantastic Four meant sacrificing the chance to play a midfielder who might have been necessary?
No, I don't think that's a problem. The problems we've had this season are very clear, and there's not much to explain. We lost important players in defense who have been difficult to replace. We changed our game plan because we have players with different characteristics. We've had difficulty finding our balance, and I hope we can achieve that in this final stretch of the season.
How are Mendy and Mbappé doing for tomorrow's match?
They won't be ready for tomorrow's game, but they will continue training, and I believe both will be ready for next Saturday's match.
There are 4 days until the Copa del Rey final. Will you rotate players in tomorrow's match with the weekend's final in mind?
No, tomorrow's lineup will be based on the physical toll from last weekend, simple as that. I think all the players have recovered well. In today's training, I saw that some players are still a bit tired, but that's completely normal, and we'll see what we decide tomorrow.
If Real Madrid wins La Liga and the Copa del Rey, do you think you'll stay on as coach next season?
Anything is possible in football. Are you still surprised by anything that happens in the world of football? Nothing surprises me anymore, so anything can happen.
The other day, Mbappé was booed at the stadium. Have you spoken to him about it? Weren't you surprised?
Yes, I read about it in the media, but I didn't hear anything myself. He's just upset about his injury and not being able to help the team, and now he's doing everything he can to be available for Saturday.
Endrick has come onto the pitch in the last 2 games to play more minutes than before. What changed to give him more time on the field?
Nothing specific has changed. He's been progressing very well. As I've said before, he's working hard, and now he has more involvement because there are matches where we need his strength and quality.
If you win the Copa del Rey, do you think you'll have a better chance of winning La Liga, especially considering that in Barcelona they say you have no chance at all?
Putting the Club World Cup aside, the 2 titles we're still competing for depend on us beating Barcelona. We would have to beat Barcelona, and that's the one thing we're clear about at the moment, so it's simple. If we want to win these 2 competitions, we have to beat them. Right now, we just have to play well in our next match and then focus on the Copa del Rey.
We see you looking more relaxed and happy. How are you feeling right now? Are you still in your honeymoon phase with Real Madrid?
As I've said before, I feel very good at the club because they understand that this has been a complicated season, obviously even more complicated than last season, but it's also hard to find a season more complicated than the last one. So all of us are trying to manage the difficulties together, and that's why the honeymoon continues. I'm very happy and calm right now, though obviously under a lot of pressure, but that's always the case. But as I always say, stress is like fuel for me. Stress doesn't bother me. It gives me more energy to think things through better.
Don't you think you should have been tougher with your players during the season so they would press and run more, instead of being the paternal figure you're known to be?
Well, I've been asked this many times. In Italy, there's a saying for this. It's called a refrain. Every time there's a problem, people say it's your soft touch. The same thing happened in my first season here. They said I was too soft. I try to manage everything based on my personality. Because in life, in any relationship, you have to show who you truly are. Do you think I haven't been angry about how the season has gone? Of course, I've been angry many times. But that doesn't mean I have to be harsh with people. My character is to maintain an open relationship with everyone on the same level. And to have that kind of relationship, there are two key things: respect and being respected. That's what's happened here, even in tough times. You always have to keep in mind two things. There's the footballer, which is the job, but there's also the person, which is what we all are in life. I'm someone who leads with a soft touch, and you might ask, why am I like that? It's because I wasn't treated with a hard hand in my life, not by my father, not by my teachers or coaches, no one. At other clubs, I've been told that players should be managed with a whip, but I can't do that because I'm not that kind of person. So I tell them, team, you'll have to find someone else for the job, because if you believe people should be treated with a whip, that's not for me.
Are you already planning next season in terms of signings and additions?
At this club, we never think about signings during the season. Transfers are only worked on at the end of the season.
Do you think it would have been fairer if Barcelona had also played on Wednesday, so both teams had the same amount of rest before the Copa del Rey final?
No, I'm not going to complain about that. These things can happen. We couldn't play on Tuesday because Athletic could only play on Sunday since they played on Thursday before. So they couldn't play on Saturday just so we could play on Tuesday. So it's all fine. We'll have enough time to recover.
Do you like this season's version of Fran Garcia more than last season's? Do you think he has a future at Real Madrid?
Honestly, I think he's improved, he's played more, and his performances have been good most of the time. The reason I've sometimes played Camavinga instead of him is because they have different characteristics. So Camavinga is more used to playing inside the pitch, while Fran plays wider and goes all the way down the flank. So sometimes when Vinny is heavily occupying the wing, Fran has less space to show his qualities.
Everyone sees Barcelona as the clear favorite for the Copa del Rey final. Do you like the underdog role that Real Madrid now has for this final?
Well, I don't really like it, but that's how things are. I know it seems like they're in better form than we are right now, but a final is a final, and these matches are unpredictable. To label Real Madrid as the underdog in a final honestly seems a bit exaggerated to me.